Good morning. This is the courtyard of the hotel. Can't pronounce its name. Maimonides. It is directly across from the Mezquita. I've been pronouncing it wrong, and I am about to go over there for my tour. This is a much nicer place than I was staying at up in Toledo, but the room itself, it's right on an alleyway. It was very loud. It was not nice at all. But, you know, you get what you get. So this is how close it is to La Mezquita. I know, I am mispronouncing it completely. So here it is. And I have a 10 o'clock ticket bought through a company called Top Tour. Don't use them. It was, wow, they touted themselves as an official ticket, charged me €30, it's supposed to be 11. And oh, look, Yadra, that nobody wants anymore. Anyway, oh, the ever-present Starbucks, because you have to have that. Wow, let's just see what that looks like. And there it is. Okay, because who cares, right? I had my Starbucks this morning in my room. Anyway, this company then sends you a ticket. You're supposed to be able to cut the line or whatever. It doesn't even matter. Look at all these taxis lined up. But this is how close it is. So, however bad my room is, you cannot fault the location. Okay, Cordoba. Here we go. Stand by. Here it is, the courtyard. And that tower, let me just tell you, those bells, they're loud. They are very loud. Look how interesting this path is. It's cobblestone, so breaking ankles very easily. But it's all designed to shunt water away, so that's interesting. Orange trees. Yes, we are in orange blossom season, although apparently not here. It was my understanding that I was going to hit the prime of it maybe in Sevilla, but anyway, big courtyard. All right, this was a mosque, huge mosque, biggest in this area, if not. I would have to look that up, but I'm sure it was huge. And this area was where the worshipers came to pray, or I'm not sure if prayer is the right call to prayers. I think that's what it is. And then Isabella and Ferdinand, 1200s, came and took it back and built a cathedral in the center of it. So, visit the cathedral, but I do not have, I have my, tickets went up to 13, but I paid 30. Don't use that company. Anyway, I have to wait until 10 o'clock to enter, but I guess this is where you come to. I have the whole Rick Steves walk. Sorry. Oh, that's a very large tree. Here, let me show you how high up that goes. Whew. There you go. And I've read it, and I kind of know what I'm looking at inside, but I gotta tell you, I maybe jaded is the right word, or maybe just saturated. I have been to so very many cathedrals now that they kind of all blur together. What makes this unique, of course, is that it was a mosque, and then they left half of it, like the perimeter around it, and then put the cathedral in the center. So it has all these mosque elements to it, including all these keyhole arches, which you see, and the red and white keyhole arches, which is the big draw here. So anyway, we're just going to go in and explore it. Well, to give you an idea, this line goes all the way down to the end and curves around the corner. And I only got in line another 10 minutes. So here we go. La Mezquita. This was originally in the 7th century a Visigoth chapel that was taken over by the Muslims, Islamic religion, in the 700s, and they built this mosque with 800 of these arches. And in the 1200s, I think 1278, it was reconquered by the Catholics, Ferdinand and Isabella, and they turned it back into a cathedral, which is in the center. If you can see that little light there, that's the center of the mosque. But they were so impressed with the architecture and the art of this place that they left a lot of the Muslim art in here. And so this is an amalgam of these two religions. And it has created this forest, absolute forest of columns. It's quite incredible. I passed the Visigoth stonework, which is very important to the local culture because they, Catholics have been accused of stealing this from Muslims, but this, proves to them that this was actually originally a Christian site, so that they were only returning it to its original state. Anyway, the stonemasons from the Visigoth era have several of their pieces uncovered, but for the most part, the Muslims basically erased all of it. They razed it to the ground and then rebuilt this mosque in its place. So there's only a little bit left. But on the sides, they have all these, I'm not sure what they're called, niches of religious art, and I don't know what ceremonies they held in there, but anyway, they have a lot of their artwork, as you can see. And it's just a fascinating combination between these two worlds. Anyway, here's some of the stonemasons' work from when it was a Visigoth chapel. And just as a note, off down into that corner is a restroom and a drinking fountain. Pretty incredible. There's the forest. This is supposed to be the best view of all of the columns. Now, behind this scaffolding is the mihrab. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. The place where the imam of the Muslim religion would recite the prayers and lead the prayers. And they would, in this area, which was covered with dirt at the time, all the worshipers, 20,000, could fit in here. But look at this artwork. I mean, That is impressive. And in there is the niche where they would do the prayers. I mean, the craftsmanship is just incredible. Wow. And wait for it. Look up at the ceiling. Just phenomenal. Excuse me. It's also very crowded here. It was, come at 10. It was better at 10. This is my second walkthrough of it because, you know, you don't see everything on the first pass. So through that door is the treasury, which holds a lot of gold and silver relics. They're not relics, they're just, you know, religious objects, which I'm just gonna walk through. I'm not gonna talk because I don't know what to tell you about it. What is this kind of stuff all the way through? This piece is very large and very ornate. Very cool. Here's more of the stonemason work, and you can see this forest of columns. So incredible. And this medieval wooden machine of sorts, printing press, I don't even know what it is, but they have made quite an emphasis of putting as much of this old stonework out as possible, which is fine. That's their proof that this was originally something other than a mosque, which I don't know that any of that really makes a difference. But this is now the other side of the mosque, and then looking back, wow, that is just wild. Now we're going to see the interior of the center, the cathedral part of it. A rare break in the crowds. This now is going towards the center part. I guess the clear story above, or the roof was high enough that they could put this clear story in. And the difference between here, that medieval, well, my camera compensates for the darkness, but let me switch it really quick. And it's like literally 9-day. Light and dark, which was, you know, their symbolic point that they were trying to emphasize here. But there it is, the cathedral with its, oh my gosh, incredible ceilings and incredible altar. Well, there it is. I'm on the front row. And they just had a mass here this morning. I guess they do it every morning, about 9:30. That's what it looks like. Beautiful stained glass window up there. And then you turn around, and that is the choir. So beautiful. This is the main altar in the choir, and here are the choir seats. That is incredible. Each of those panels depicts part of the Christian religion, the Catholics specifically. There's a clock at the end there. And this is the main altar. This is the Roman bridge, which is directly outside of the Mezquita. I marvel at Roman technology. If only they hadn't been sacked and they could have moved on. What would life be like now? Always a curiosity. It's a very cool bridge though. On the bridge now, you can see how brown the water is. A lot of silt in it. There's an old water wheel, used to be working. And you swing around and you get a view of the arch and the Mezquita right behind it. It's a great town. Calle de las Flores. That is what we are off to see up this tiny alley. Now this is part of the Jewish quarter. One of the oldest areas of the city, and you can see how crowded it is. Super not fun to traverse, but we'll see what's up further. That's it. That's what people are literally standing in line to walk out. That's hilarious. Anyway, should we stand in line to walk up it like everyone else? It seems kind of silly, but there it is. Calle de las Flores. So we're walking the alley, and it's just a bunch of blue pots and people walking back and forth. And they get up to the top and then they take pictures. So, yeah, just to see behind, we've got the bell tower up there. That's the big draw, I guess, of the pictures. And there you go. That's it. That was the whole alley. There it is. Calle de las Flores with the bell tower in the background. Very exciting. Well, now we're just wandering the alleyways of the Jewish quarter. And this is what they are. They're just small, whitewashed alleyways with wrought iron everywhere. That's their big signature, that in the blue flower pot. Not quite flower season, but you know, they do make the effort on some of these places that they're trying to, you know, sell their wares, and good for them, why not? I see Patio de la Juderia, so that sounds like I'm in the Jewish quarter. Anyway, there are lots of restaurants here. People trying to get you to come on in and have lunch. Oh, this is a flamenco dance place. Look at that. Nobody's on this alley though, but that's kind of cute. Look what I found. Empanadas. I got myself a chicken and bacon empanada, €3. That's going to be delicious. There's their big oven back there. And they do all these sandwiches here. This is in the Jewish quarter. But look how beautiful. Look how fun that is. Anyway, I'm in the Jewish quarter. Going to try an empanada. There it is, all toasty and warm. We are going to give it a go. Wow. Look, more tour groups. Now, Spain expelled all of the Jews, so this became something else. I don't know why they still call it the Jewish quarter. It's very strange. But anyway, yeah, all the Jews got expelled. And they were actually given a choice: convert or leave. And so those who converted had to prove that they actually converted to Catholicism. And this is what started the Inquisition. Not even kidding. They were inquiring of the Jewish community whether or not they actually believed. Not sure how I feel about that. And that's what the Inquisition was actually about. Yes, witches were burned. But it was about inquiring whether people had really accepted Catholicism. That's why there are very, very few Jewish people in Spain. Which is really odd. The Moors didn't have a problem with them. And all three religions lived side by side for a long time. But anyway, in 1278, when the conquistadors came and literally reconquered Spain, that's when things changed. So this is just another fun little alleyway, and that's what all this is about. See, they have this stuff everywhere. Very, very Catholic. I mean, that's the bottom line. This is a Catholic country. So no problem with that. Just explaining what it is about here. I have found the oranges. These are the bitter oranges that the Brits like to make their orange marmalade from. And this is in a cute little courtyard called Artisanal Zoco. There's a little sign for it up there. The flowers are just now coming in. I'm sure it'll be splendid in a month. But anyway, that's just what Cordoba is finding all these little nooks and crannies and dodging tour groups. I have made my way to the outside of the old wall. This is one of the few remaining well-preserved walls of this old city. And it goes right to there. And there's the entryway into the city with the, I'm going to call them Roman aqueducts. I know that's not what they are, but quite beautiful. And we're going to try the empanada now. It's a good taste. It's a strange texture. Sort of like a meat paste. Still, it's good. Yeah, it's tasty. I could probably live on these. Well, there it is, the hammam. This is a picture of what it looks like inside. It's just a mineral bath. And I also get a little massage. So that'll be fun. And it's a little oasis. And there it is. And I'm a few minutes early. I'm magical. I made that open. So here is what the oasis looks like. Anyway, I'm going to check in and see if I can start. And may I film right in there? Yes. Okay, let me just show you this part of it. So, this is, now, am I back in Thailand? I am not, but we are going to experience what this place is about. And good for me, right? Going outside my comfort zone. So, I'll check back with you later. I guess I'll film just a little of this. We are brought upstairs to this room where we are to sit and have some tea and relax and have everything explained to us.